it's hard not to notice your shirt there. Do you feel that what you've seen these first 3 games, you guys are kind of getting back to that RBU stuff?
We're getting better. We're getting better. Sometimes the opponent dictates what you do. But I feel like we're getting better, getting a good rhythm, getting more guys in the game. And the more they play and the better they play, it'll be more.
What did the GPS show about Izzy's yardage on Saturday?
I didn't check it yet.
If you had to guess.
I would have guessed he ran a lot of yards. I would guess he was probably, if he ran 7,000 yards in the Tennessee game, I would bet he exceeded that this game. I didn't check the speeds yet. That's something on my checklist for today and this afternoon.
Andre, what did you like about that performance? I mean, what really stood
Well,
out
the
to you
thing I liked about him, he just ran hard. He made people miss. When there wasn't a clear lane to run through, he was able to hit it and press it and get 4 yards. And when there was a clear lane, which it was most of the night, he was able to find the crack. He didn't miss him many cuts, And so another thing that was impressive is, as the game went, he got stronger. Where you could tell the opponent was wearing down. You looked out there at him, and he wasn't fatigued.
Week by week, he continues to take on more and more. What have you seen from him, maybe just off the field or as a person, growth-wise, in the time you've been with him?
I mean, just the regular maturity. Again, some people mature faster than others, and every week he's asking more questions. He's more involved. You check his notes; he's got more notes. The test that we give him on Friday, he's getting, making good grades on those, and so he's just maturing. He's beginning to feel it. He feels like it's his,
Has that translated to his vision when you look back at the tape and see like the angles he takes?
No, I think his vision has always been good. And I think in years past, we were not committed to the run. Now, that's no discredit to Coach Whipple. We scored a bunch of points last year. Last year, we were better geared to throw the football. So the number of at-bats he got, he wasn't able to get all those little nuances. And he's able to get those now.
What was it about his offseason that allowed him to get stronger as the game went on?
Well, credit to our strength coaches and strength staff. I mean, Izzy works. I don't know if you've seen him with a shirt off. He's got a 10-pack. He's got abs on top of abs, and he's a strong dude. I mean, he puts weight on his back, and he goes down, and he comes up, and it's a lot of weight. Some guys are naturally strong. Now, some guys are naturally strong in the weight room, but they don't have functional strength, and he has functional strength.
A lot of volume for him over the last couple of weeks. Can we expect another full workload from him on Saturday?
We're going to try to run the football. That's always going to be our attitude. And if it's him or if it's Vince or Daniel or Sebo, we're just going to try to run the ball.
You talked last week about getting Sebo involved, and he broke off a couple of nice runs at Western. What did you think of him?
I was very pleased. I was very pleased with all of them. We executed. We played physical. We played assignment football. We protected the quarterback. We protected the ball. So it wasn't much that I didn't like about that performance.
Vince has gone from a guy like, he came in, that he got 200 yards against Georgia Tech, 2 years ago.
Right.
Last year, you guys kind of used him part of the rotation, and this year you caught him up. What have you seen him change as a person, as a young man that you coached?
Well, natural instincts, human instincts. I mean, during training camp, he wasn't performing as well. When we started the season, he didn't get as many reps. And now he's getting back into the swing of things. He's performing well. And the thing that allows him to perform well is he's preparing well. If you see our text thread at night, when I'm sending them what's going to take place tomorrow, and we're going back and forth on this play, you got this. I'm sending them pictures of, video clips, pictures of all the things that are going to take place tomorrow, and they're looking at them, and they're able to apply what we're talking about and apply it to practice.
Andre, what are on those? You mentioned those Friday tests. What are on those tests?
Tests that relate to the game. Blitz tips. What tips this blitz. What does the safety do? Are they going to box a gap play? Are they going to spill a gap play? What do they do when you're in the gun? All sorts of things. I mean, it's.
Is that like in a meeting, or is that like on their iPad? And
No, it's a physical test. It's a piece.
Okay.
I put it on my computer and I print it off and I give it to them, and I give it to them on Fridays, and we go through it a pregame meal right before we take off and go to the stadium. So it's pretty detailed.
You've been coach in a long time. What did you do before text messages? How did you get the word out to guys?
Ooh, well, we didn't, but we only had 10 plays. And the volume of plays we have, it's unbelievable, the volume, what these guys are able to absorb. And all the technology, I was talking to a friend of mine about the GPS things the other night. He was like, God, you guys got GPS? And yeah, and that's important. So we got a lot of technology. We try to use it to our advantage when when you can apply it, and just try to gain every advantage you can gain. I met our nutritionist. She's trying to gain an edge with what she feeds our kids and how she coaches them on what to eat at night. And our strength staff, our training staff, football staff. We try to use everything we have at our disposal.
How many running plays do you guys have at your disposal?
Well, here's the thing. We have a group of plays, and then we might have one play from 4 or 5 different formations. Mm-hmm. So if you looked at that call sheet, a game call sheet, there's probably, I would say, 250 plays on it. That's passes and runs. But again, it may be outside zone 5 different ways out of 4 different personnel groupings and different motions and shifts. So that's, Coach Signetti always says, same plays, different ways. And that's what we're trying to do. So the defense has a hard time saying, okay, every time they line up like this is what they do. We may line up like this and do 6 or 7 different things. And some of that was based on last week. How did we line up last week? What is Rhode Island looking at? And so we try to make sure we do what we call self-scouts. What did we do last week? We try to change it and not change our guys. We may fix it where it's the same play and 2 guys do something different opposed to 11 guys doing something different.
You guys are going up against an opponent you're very familiar with, having coached there. That's where you met Pat, correct?
That's where I met Pat. That's where I met my wife.
And so what was Pat like when you first met him there back in the early 90s as a coach and as just a human being?
Same guy, except he had abs.
Except he had abs. When did you know back then that he would be a head coach just based on the...
I knew he was plugged into a 220. I knew that. I mean, he stayed moving. I mean, hey, let's come in Saturday and paint the offices. It was just one thing after another. I go to his house. He goes, look, I cut a hole in the wall here and put a closet in. I mean, he was always on the go, always thinking. He's got a very active mind.
Andre, I know you don't coach him directly, but what was the difficulty for Nate last week to go from scout team to leading the huddle? How
You know what?
transition is that?
You're talking give that kid a lot of credit. Now, he ain't had any reps, and he's smart, he's sharp, and there's a lot of things we went in the game saying, boy, we don't know if he can see it, to check the play. I mean, he was 100% on decision making. He checked a couple of plays. The big play we hit Jared Wayne, he saw the blitz, and it was on the tip. I bet it was on their test. He saw the safety get wide and knew the corner was coming. Vince saw it and came off the fake. He was supposed to fake to left. He came to the right and blocked the backside safety one-on-one. So I can't say enough about that kid. I mean, he gets the ball out of his hands. He's not tight in the huddle. He's smiling. We're saying, hey, we call timeout. We're going to do this play. Can you do it? And I got it. He did a great job.
What improvements did you see from Ben Sauls over this last week after he missed those 2 kicks against Tennessee?
I'm sorry?
What improvements did you see from Ben Sauls over this last week?
That kicking thing now, it's something that seems so simple. It's not so simple. And we're getting better. We have a standard in, kicking game across the board. We haven't reached that standard. We're working toward that standard. It's a little bit disappointing that we didn't perform better across the board on special teams.